Okay, we're rolling. Here we go. Welcome back to Geek Channel 8. I'm Eric.
I'm Will.
I'm Jason.
Today on the show, the most faithful adaptation of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, or so we've been told. But before we get to that, Jason, what's been going on in your neighborhood?
In my neighborhood, I have a record release show coming up for this compilation show from my actual podcast show at Southgate House Revival, July 31st for $15. You will get to see 15 bands. A
Dang.
dollar a band. A dollar a
Buck a
band,
band.
guys.
That's
A
like the
buck a
old days,
band.
man.
And believe me, these guys are lucky to get that dollar. Okay.
Well, so can you tell us who's on the bill?
Yes, I have Cult of Sorrow, Chris from Space, Hammer Down, Black Market Party.
Is Chris from Space just like one guy?
It's actually three guys.
Okay.
It's actually three guys.
Three guys named
I
Chris
also
from
have
Space.
one of them is actually named Chris. Unlike Velvet Velma and Jake Logan and the Midnight Riders, there is no Velvet Velma and there is no Jake Logan.
But there's a Chris.
But there is a Chris, and he could be from space. I don't know.
All right.
I didn't
cool.
know. I never actually asked him.
That sounds awesome. That's 4th of July weekend, or when was that?
July 31st.
July 30th, end of July.
The hottest part of the summer to sell a vinyl record.
And this, in case you're listening to this in the archives, this is from 2026. So if you're listening to this in 2030, you missed the show by 4 years.
You missed it, bro. You missed it. It was great. It was great. Everybody had a great time, and
Yeah. Will, how about you? What's been going on with you?
Man, spring's been springing, bro. So I've been in like 3 gardens in the past 3 days. But strangely also, I've been doing a lot of plumbing. Everybody I know needs new sinks or new faucets or something.
Plumbing.
Yeah, well, look, I did time. I always think of it that way. I did time as a plumber for Roto-Rooter, right? And every time I can do free plumbing for my friends and family, it's like a middle finger to the man. And so
good for you, buddy. Good for you.
I'm like, hey, screw you. No, you don't get $500, of which the tech gets like 75.
That's right.
So wait a minute. You are a union electrician, correct?
Yes, I have been. I don't know. Actually, I don't think yeah, I'm gonna say yeah.
Are you a union plumber?
No, I wasn't even a plumber. I was a plumbing tech. I was working under somebody else's ticket or whatever, underneath their license. But apparently, I was good enough because they just kept sending me out for that stuff. They're like, "Oh yeah, you can do this. Go ahead."
My favorite Will quote from having to do with the trades is when he was an electrician. He told me one time, man, plumber's work is never plumb.
That's right.
It's true.
Because it doesn't have to be, right? It's in the wall.
It's in the wall. They don't care, right? And and if it's not in the wall, it's in like it's industrial, and they don't care. Electricians, for no good reason, are like, no, everything needs to be square and plumb because we're it's a matter of pride. But
now we're gonna get hate mail from plumbers. See what you've done.
Right. Yeah.
no,
Great.
I've literally had to change my work. This was why it stuck with me. Is I was an apprentice. I was running on a rack of pipes. They were already there. They were plumbing pipes, but we were supposed to use our conduit alongside that. And I was very proud because everything I was doing, this was straight up, and then mine was plumb everything. And they're like, "Oh, you got to change this." I'm like, "What are you talking about? I did good." They're like, "You got to match what's there." I'm like, "But they're not plumb." It's like, "It doesn't matter." And they say, and they're plumbers. You can't expect them to be plumb. I'm like, "What?" they they don't. They don't.
How do you know this, Jason?
I've done plenty of contract work over the years myself. I've worked in cabinet shops, and I'm learning how to lay tile right now with a guy. I do contract work with my stepdad, so yeah, I do a little bit of everything.
Nice.
He's been around, man.
I don't do much in the plumbing area though, so
So it's funny you bring this up, Will, because people that listen to the podcast regular will remember months ago now I talked about, I think, how the ceiling collapsed because like there was just a waterfall in my kitchen
Oh
and
yeah.
in the living
Yeah,
room
yeah,
and
yeah,
in the
yeah.
hallway. My wife was just saying over dinner, like, we got to contact the landlord and see what the deal is because they still haven't repainted and like fixed
Oof.
up the the rest of. Okay, well, so today we are going to be talking about Frankenstein from 2004, the Hallmark Channel version of Frankenstein. Yes, they did stuff other than Christmas movies. How Hallmarky is this? We'll get to that. All right. But first, let me tell you a little bit about this. This is a made for cable two-part miniseries. It was made, as we said, for the Hallmark Channel, but it's often confused with USA's made for cable Frankenstein from 2004, which came out the same week on
Wow.
USA, although they
Huh.
couldn't be more different.
Did we watch that one too?
We did not watch it, and we are not going to watch it.
Okay. All
Oh
right.
man.
Uh,
Sorry. My
I,
bad.
we've been working our way since 1910, the 1910s, and we've finally gotten up to the 2000s, and we've like stalled in
And let,
2004, where there's like so many bad Frankensteins.
and let me tell you, it felt like it too. This entire journey, it has felt like it too.
This one's considered to be the most book accurate one ever filmed, but USA's was produced by Martin Scorsese, and it was based on a Dean Koontz script.
What?
Holy moly.
And both of those guys asked to have their name taken off of it over creative differences.
Wait, Dean Koontz asked to have his name taken off? Because
I think so. It's still connected to it. But anyway, he was it was yeah, produced by Scorsese and written by Koontz, and it was a TV pilot for a police procedural set in present day New Orleans. So think about how far from like Mary Shelley's book that is. Yeah,
and
they
Wow.
we're
just called
not
it,
going to watch
Yeah.
this?
Yeah. Yeah.
and we're not going to watch.
Hmm.
I don't know. Maybe we will. If you guys want us to do that, write in. And if
Yeah,
you
we're
guys
gonna
really
we're
want me
gonna.
to put you through hell, we can watch that one.
Oh, come on, dude. Compared to some of the ones we've watched already.
I mean, how
Okay,
bad could it be?
let me put it this way. Maybe we will do that one.
All
Okay.
right.
But we got more from 2004 to do too. Anyway, so this one stars Alec Newman as Victor, and on the podcast, I don't know if any of you guys were on the show at the time, but we last saw him in another made-for-cable miniseries as Paul Atreides in the 2000 version, Frank Herbert's Dune, which was a Sci-Fi Channel adaptation of
I saw
Dune.
that one. I saw that one. Yeah.
I didn't even know that one
I've seen that
happened.
dude in a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was not
So-
great. You should continue to pretend it didn't actually happen.
Fair.
Let's just say that I'm a David Lynch fan. I like David Lynch's Dune. I think it's better than the current Dune. Anyway,
I mean,
so Variety said about this Frankenstein miniseries, quote, faithfully retelling a 19th century Gothic novel means daring to be boring in places. But the peaks far outweigh those flat and arid stretches in this beautifully assembled Hallmark production, quote, unquote. And also, quote, it should become the official home study alternative for kids too lazy to read the book, unquote. Guy Adams of the British Fantasy Society reiterates that the, quote, 3-hour miniseries sticks closely to the original novel, unquote. And he said that, quote, it's definitely a TV version, though thankfully light on the usual Hallmark Channel Vaseline and whimsy. A little flat in places, but it is an honorable and enjoyable attempt at providing a definitive version of Shelley's book, unquote. It also won an Emmy for the makeup effects.
Oh wait,
So-
wait, wait!
What?
I have to ask because this is seems like
lame.
a filmmaker thing. Vaseline and whimsy.
So I think what they meant by Vaseline is there's this technique that we used to do in film. We don't do it anymore because we actually have glass filters that do this. But once upon a time, in order to give the nice soft featured effect, like we're on Zoom right now and I've got like touch up my appearance on there. But before we had those ability at the touch of a button, they would put Vaseline on the lens of the camera to give that soft, hazy look, which was a pain in the ass for ACs like me, who then had to go clean the lens afterward. All right, but before we jump into this, I want to introduce our special guest for today.
Oh,
She is a crossword puzzle aficionado. She has lots of crossword puzzle creations to her credit. I'll let her tell you about that. She is a digital librarian at Dartmouth College and holds a PhD in English literature. She wrote papers on Frankenstein both as an undergraduate and as a graduate student. Welcome to the program, Laura Braunstein.
Hi, guys. Thanks
hi,
for
Laura.
having me.
Hey,
Hey.
welcome.
You wrote papers on Frankenstein.
Yep.
Do you remember what the title of your papers were?
Now, I don't remember anything about the undergraduate one because that was years ago. But the graduate one, I think was about Paradise Lost, because of the famous quotation that I think is the epigraph. And I won't spoil anything, but it does become very important in the particular version that we've watched for tonight.
It does, yes. It's great to have you. I'm sure we will defer to you when it comes to all things British literature, but just know who you're talking to here. We're just as likely to get off on a tangent about like planting trees or something like that. And one of the things we always do is we like a snack. Since we started during the pandemic and like everybody's watching stuff from home, you couldn't go to the movie theaters. We're all eating and drinking while we're watching movies. Not that we don't do that in the actual theater, but we have more options at home. So we usually talk about what to pair with the film. What is a good, like, just like you pair a wine and a cheese, we pair some sort of food or beverage with the film. And usually we turn to Will for that. So, Will, for episode 1 of the 2004 Hallmark Channel Frankenstein, what are we doing?
Yum, yum. It's time for a tasty and refreshing snack.
For this episode, I thought of two things: cheese and wine. And because I've been educated through watching these movies and getting the background with different experts, that this is a Swiss story, Swiss-German story. So, what do you get when you take Swiss cheese and wine, put them all together?
I don't know. Floating chunks of cheese and wine?
Yeah.
Now you add heat to that.
Oh, no.
And-
Fondue.
Fondue, there you go.
Fondue.
See?
Fondue.
That's right.
Hmm.
I have actually eaten fondue in Switzerland.
Oh, wow. See?
Yeah.
I've made fondue before.
Yeah, it's a lot of mess for not enough cheese.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a fondant for me. You know.
All right.
It is something where I would feel like it's one of those things like, this is great for somebody to serve you. Right? And I didn't make it for this particular one, but I did think it was appropriate. In this particular episode, someone feeds him something, and feeds, and when I say him, we're talking about a la monster, and it brings him to tears because he had no one's ever shown him that much kindness. It happens to be cheese. Now, I just couldn't leave it at that because that's not much of a thing. So that's why I go with the fondue. And I'm very sketchy about these things anyway. I did drop an Alton Brown, give me a link in the chat. So that's the one where I would recommend going with. He's always good. He's high quality, but it's not like Cook's Illustrated fancy. It's just the regular level. But anyhow, yes. So the basics are garlic. Now, if I'm going to do garlic, I always put some butter in the bottom and I crush the garlic, do that stuff. So I would start with that, but whatever. But basically, most of the recipes are garlic with your wine. All right, white wine, dry, and your ingredients go into that. You're melting your stuff into that, and you're thickening it. So that's basically where the cheese goes. Most of them say nutmeg, right? I mean, I like nutmeg. I like cheese together. Those things are great. But like some people just skip that entirely. And apparently, this is true of Americans anyway. We just amped up garlic. Like I've been told this recently that we take things that have garlic in them and we just put way too much garlic. And I'm here for that. So the cheese, the garlic, your choice of spices. A lot of them will add an extra little boom of like liquor or something like that, like a brandy, and then a thickener, which could be flour or it could be cornstarch or something. Okay, and that's pretty much it. You can always have vegetables with this, but I would say just have bread because this is not about health food. It really isn't. But ultimately, I do want to ask you, Laura, what were you doing in Switzerland that you had that?
This was in college, on my junior year abroad, and I did the classic Eurail pass jaunt around various countries,
Wow.
and yeah, and I felt like, I'm in Switzerland, I'm in the Alps, I should probably have some fondue. Um,
Wow. Oh,
I think we also can talk about how fondue became extremely popular in the 70s with the sort of fondue parties, and
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know
oh
if that's
yeah.
really relevant to Frankenstein.
It would have
Um,
been if we were doing one of the 70s ones, but we're past all that
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Well,
It's
apparently,
fondue and key parties from the
oh
70s. That's
my.
great.
Well, fondue restaurants took a big hit during the pandemic because they couldn't, all the health departments were like, yeah, no way.
oh,
No
yeah.
way.
You really only want to eat it with good friends.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right. Well, the funny thing is that it apparently fondue really was it was one of those things where like it existed, but it got its big push because well, a conglomerate of basically cheese producers after I think it was World War One, maybe World War Two, I forget which one. They're like, oh my God, we took such a hit. We gotta do something. So they started pushing fondue as a great, this it makes you it's delicious and it makes you feel good. There's a whole other thing. But yeah, there was marketing behind it, which doesn't mean it's not
Nice.
one.
My wife and I went to a fondue restaurant once, and like it was like a fancy date kind of thing, and we just ate so much cheese. And then they're like they came back, and at the end they're like, okay, you guys ready for like, dessert? There's like chocolate and all this stuff. And I'm like, we're both like, what? There's dessert?
Bro.
We ate so much cheese we couldn't possibly eat anymore. And so they gave us a free like come back like for dessert thing because
Wow.
they're like,
Oh,
you
that's
gotta
cool.
have the dessert. The dessert's the best part. And like,
Well, I know, man. We're all backed up on cheese, dude.
It's like whatever.
all right, well, I think it's time we jump into Frankenstein here. This one, it opens with Captain Robert Walton's ship, which is stuck, it's icebound while exploring, in the Arctic region. And then they spot a dog sled chasing another dog sled, and they rescue one of them, and it's Victor Frankenstein. His sled overturns like right there off the side of the ship. I don't know. He's like 10 feet off the side of the ship. Even though when they were watching earlier, they're like watching him off in the distance. And he's ill, and Walton takes him aboard to nurse him back to health.
This was about the period when polar exploration really ramped up. And so Shelley's readers would have been really, really familiar at this point because there were illustrations in a lot of the, newspapers and periodicals of the time, like that it kind of looked exactly like that opening shot of the ship stuck in the ice.
Oh.
And
Yeah.
sort of these tales of like people trying to reach the North Pole. So either trying to reach the North Pole from Europe or trying to go through the Northwest Passage.
That's, yeah.
Um, Yeah, and so this would have been sort of like in some ways like she's setting up their expectations that this is set in the Arctic, by kind of giving them a callback to what they've all these tales of adventure they're probably already familiar with.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, and then I know you like trivia, so everybody knows what Arctic means, right?
No.
No.
Bears. It means bears. You know what Antarctic means?
No
No
bears.
bears?
No bears.
No
And
way!
you know what? The Arctic has bears. The Antarctic has no bears. And that has nothing to do with why they're called bears and no bears.
What?
Yeah. Mind blown, eh?
What?
Yes.
No, the Antarctic has penguins and the Arctic has no penguins. So you could have called it, like penguins and no penguins instead. Penguins and the ant penguins.
No.
Yeah.
It actually refers to Ursa Major, Ursa
Oh,
Minor.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So if you're navigating, you want to go toward the bears. If you're going north, you want to go away from the bears if you're going south, right? And one other thing about the ship here, this being a visual medium, I don't think Shelley mentions this in the book, but did you guys see the name of the ship on the back of the ship in this?
I did, yes.
What was it?
It was the Prometheus.
It was the Prometheus.
Oh, right.
Wow.
Yes.
So they spotted him like he's just like 10 feet off the side of the ship. Okay, then it flashes back to Geneva as he tells his tale, to Walton. So he was born in Geneva in 1793, and at a young age, he wanted to become a scientist. But just weeks before he leaves for Ingolstadt, his mother dies of scarlet fever. And so at Ingolstadt, he pursues a process of imbuing inanimate bodies with life. By the way, the costumes and sets in this, A+.
Yeah.
A+ already.
Yeah.
At this point. If Hallmark can do one thing right, that's it.
Yeah. In the book, everything is set like a good 25 years earlier. So we see that Walton's letters to his sister, which frame Victor's narratives, have the date, 17 dash dash. But we see spoiler alert, the gravestone of a certain character, we find out that she died in 1822. So most productions actually do move that setting time up a little bit. I think because they really like those Regency, like Jane Austen, like costumes.
Nice.
Move them up how far?
I would say about 25 years.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So we get a lot of the classic tropes, guys. We got the lightning striking the tree.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
It's here.
Yeah.
We got Professor Waldman. And
What about the dog?
although I was going to get there. Although his accent comes and goes, William Hurt is one of the heavy hitters in this.
Yeah.
Okay, the
yeah.
dog. Thank God we didn't have Kino here, because if you remember way back when we were doing what was it? We were doing Homunculus, and she's like really mad. This is, Kino, we love Kino. Kino McFarlane was one of our guests, and she's like a vegan, and she was very unhappy that I did not warn her in advance that in Homunculus they kill a dog. Well, in this one, they killed 2 dogs.
They
Yeah.
killed
dogs
two
and
fucking
the bunny
dogs,
rabbit.
man.
She didn't go to doesthedogdie.com. You know about this site?
Yeah, I do.
If you're very sensitive, you can go to this site and find out if any animals die.
Yeah.
Well, this is even more so because it affected me too. Not because a fictional dog might die. I did die, but because this film was so early, I'm not sure they didn't actually kill that dog. They may have actually killed that darn dog.
In 2004?
No, not this one. I'm talking about the one.
Oh, okay.
He's referring
okay.
back
We
to
watched
Homunculus.
Homunculus.
To
Yeah, it was
Homunculus,
like
okay.
1920 or something.
Oh,
Yeah, they might have been like-
yeah. No, dude, they killed that dog. If it's
Yeah,
1920, they killed that dog, dude.
Oh yeah, I had the same reaction
real.
for that reason. I was like, oh no, not good.
Yeah, I did too. I was like, God damn it. They killed the dog, man.
Oh,
Sorry.
Who plays the captain in this? Donald Sutherland.
Yeah,
Right.
they actually had like heavy hitter actors in this.
A couple
I mean,
of heavy hitters in this, and
Yeah.
he's probably the top one. So this one, I'm going to say right off the bat, in my opinion, has some of the best scenes between the captain and Victor
yeah.
of any of the ones we've seen. Not that that makes it into very many of them, but anyway, so the reason we were talking about dead dogs is he first brings a deceased dog back to life briefly, which is very interesting because he just takes the whole dog and brings it back to life. It's not like he gets parts of a dog and assembles a Franken dog.
Right.
Like this
Right.
isn't Frankenweenie. Oh no, are we gonna have to do Frankenweenie too?
Yes, of course.
yeah.
we are.
Man.
I'll come back for that.
Is it after 2004 or before? I think it's after.
Yep. Not too late, Eric.
Maybe we'll do Frankenweenie. Oh, that's one in the 2010s. We haven't gotten there yet. We still have to do the Scorsese's one, apparently, because
Yeah.
you guys are demanding it.
Scorsese,
I
man.
insist.
Come on,
All right,
dude.
all right. You insist. All right. Anyway, so he brings back this dog, and then he creates a human being from parts of corpses and brings it to life. It's alive! So this is the part of the show where I go to our electrician and say, how's the creation scene? Now, before you tell me, I'm going to say bubbling colored liquids, check.
Yes.
And that's important because Frankenstein wanted to be not just a naturalist, but a chemist.
Yes.
And then we get Jacob's ladders. As a matter of fact, they're in reverse. They're reverse Jacob ladders. They go downward, but check and check.
Which reverse Jacob ladders, I mean, if you know how they work, you're like, how's that supposed to work? So, but never mind. Don't worry about it.
Go ahead. How do we rank the creation scene?
All right. I gotta say, not my favorite. I preferred all the stuff where he was experimenting up to that point. This one, it almost feels like he kind of just stumbled into stuff. It was like, oh, let's just try this. Well, heck, it worked. I mean, just not my favorite. It was acceptable. I'm gonna give it a pass. The equipment was pretty darn cool because a lot of it was like, okay, I recognize this. This is early, equipment you might use to generate electricity. It had a good flavor that way, but like the scene itself, honestly, and this is verging away from the technical, he was immediately horrified.
Yeah, I'll give
Yeah.
you that.
I'm like, what?
So let's talk about what the creature looks like here because I've got Shelley's description. And we've seen everything from like bolts in the neck, flat top, like Frankenstein to like De Niro.
De Niro. Still had the sneer. How did you still have a sneer?
De Niro stitched in sneer. Yeah. Okay. So in this, this is Shelley's description. His yellow skin scarcely covered the work of muscles and arteries beneath. His hair was of a lustrous black and flowing. His teeth of a pearly whiteness. But these luxuriances only formed a more horrid contrast with his watery eyes that seemed almost of the same color as the dun white sockets in which they were set, his shriveled complexion and straight black lips. Okay, so I feel like they both got it right and wrong. Like, for one thing, we get the long black hair. Like, this is definitely Peter Murphy as Frankenstein. This is the goth Frankenstein, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I was thinking.
But they Hallmarkified it.
No. It's Peter Steele from Typo Negative. That's who
Okay.
it is.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
not as buff, Just
But
not.
this
I mean,
predates Peter
the
Steele.
whole time. Yeah. Well.
But yeah, okay.
No,
yeah.
actually, no.
No.
He was around. He was around.
Yeah,
in
Typo Negative's
2004.
been around for a while now.
Yeah, and before that, it was Carnivore. So
Okay,
in the
I do
90s.
have to ask you guys something. This is something that's come
Peter
up
Steele.
again. Were people were people just all really beautiful and I didn't notice? Because over and over again, we see these people and they're horrified by a guy, and this is across many movies where I'm like, that's not a monster.
It's
just a
Hallmark.
guy.
So here's the thing. They Beauty and the Beast did this. They're like, oh, he's the he's the monster, but yeah, the monster somehow looks like Peter Steele, who was in Playgirl, right? Like this is
Right, right.
this is like romance cover like monster. He's like
Which
he's so horrible looking.
that's not the first
If
time. There's
any,
other
you
times
know,
where it's like, what's wrong with this? He's a kind of looks different, but he's not that bad. So actually, Laura, what do you think in terms of how they made him look?
What I guess this is kind of Hallmark's idea of what a revived corpse would look like. I've always thought that like, the creature is essentially like uh he's like a Walking Dead type of beast, right?
Yeah.
So clearly he has to look like he's been rotting in the grave. And if the hair, they do, when they open graves, they often find the hair looks just the same, right? Because it doesn't decompose at the same rate. So, so like if Victor goes to, the potter's field and pulls a corpse out of there, like Frankenstein needs to look like he's been buried for a little while in a pauper's grave. And so I think this is sort of Hallmark's idea of what that would look like. And, because it's Hallmark, they don't want to kind of turn people off of the values and the aesthetics of their particular production values.
Yeah.
So I would say like, um, they only make him look like a horrible creature because they've kind of dumbed down the villagers more than anything. Because I think this like is definitely a version that has the most kind of like completely stupid masses of people that rival. I thought I was watching like Monty Python, the Holy Grail or something. Yeah. So I would say like he's only just as awful as Hallmark is going to allow him to be.
Ah, yeah,
yeah.
just not very off. I mean,
No.
honestly, I date him. I'm just putting it out there.
Well,
Date that guy.
Good on you,
upon
Will. Good on you, man. Good on
this
you.
is one of those things where you spend all this time stitching him together, and then you finally look at him for the first time. You're like horrified. I never
It's like
looked
Right.
at this.
It's
I
like,
did
dude,
not
you
just
made
spend-
him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I mean,
Right.
I will say, that there's a lot of feminist criticism of the novel who say like this is like Shelley's own horror at her birth experiences. Like at this point, she'd already lost a baby. And she was probably around this time, like either pregnant again or just about to give birth. And so this is kind of like um it's a birth scene essentially, and what she's doing is kind of projecting the horror of birth onto this scientist, and projecting like the ambivalence of a newborn baby is not as pretty as
Gross.
babies get later on. They are
It's
kind of
gross. You can
gross.
say it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, and
gross. It's
so
gross. You can
yeah,
say it. It's gross.
yeah,
I always thought they looked like skinheads, like a little.
I mean, that's, yeah, definitely. If that reading of the novel seems plausible to us, we shouldn't be so surprised that Victor is horrified by what he's made.
Mm.
So he flees from the room. Then the monster flees from the room, taking Victor's diary. Check.
This is all done in an apartment, right? You know that, right? That was like
Yeah.
his lab and all that was set up in an apartment building where he's paying a landlord.
Yeah.
And
It's not the first time we've seen that.
I know, but I'm just like, how bad does this city smell to not notice somebody's got a rotting
Probably
corpse?
pretty bad. Yeah, I
No.
mean, they're all riding horses, right? Like,
Yeah.
There's no indoor plumbing, so people,
Right. I mean,
Good
it just.
point.
I mean, I guess you could. It's a little easier to get away with having a rotting corpse in your apartment. While running wires and electric copper wire out the window and up onto the roof and all kinds of weird stuff.
I thought the sets and the costumes and stuff like that were really well done, but I also thought that they were a lot more realistic and mundane than in some of the ones we've seen, like not like Kenneth
Sure.
Branagh, right?
Right.
So it's like, I
Yeah.
think it's no accident that the most faithful adaptations of the novel we've seen have been made for TV versions, like the Randy Quaid one, because it's where there's like less pressure to be cinematic.
Yeah. Fair. I honestly, I thought it was interesting because immediately when he flees, he ends up at the on the steps of the church, right? He doesn't go inside. I don't think he makes it inside. He like passes out on the steps of the church.
The door's locked. The
The
door
door
was
is
locked. He
locked.
couldn't get in.
Yeah.
He was
Which
pounding on the door and just passed out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, which makes me it's like yeah, that's really saying like, oh no, buddy, you've gone too far.
No,
Yeah.
no,
No, God doesn't want you now.
no. You're not allowed in, buddy. You're not allowed
now,
in.
well,
No.
now you want to come running to me. No, guess what? You done messed up already.
Well,
So,
speaking of God, our creature has made it like to the DeLacy family. I think that's where he gets Paradise Lost, right?
Yeah.
He
Yep.
Yes,
grabs a
yes.
copy there. So the DeLacy family is a little weird in this because like, okay, I'm never really sure what the deal is. In the book, there's like a brother and a sister and like a son-in-law, or there's a son-in-law and a daughter and a son-in-law. In this, they seem like a Luke and Leah kind of brother and sister. Like,
okay.
did you guys get
Oh,
that
whoa.
vibe? It seemed a
I
little
didn't
like
know.
I
I
thought-
thought that they were. I
just
thought that
thought they
there
were a
was a
couple,
mom and a
man.
dad.
Yeah, I
Oh.
thought that too. Are you telling me
Yeah.
I'm wrong? And
I
now
don't
I'm feeling
know.
real gross.
I don't know.
Am I gross?
Maybe
I
somebody
it was
can-
mom, dad,
That's so weird
grandpa
now.
or in-law, grandpa, and
Grandpa,
baby.
yeah.
But like, oh, this reminded me because Laura, you mentioned that the villagers earlier. He before he meets them, he goes into a house and tries to steal some food, right? To
Yep.
start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is that they don't react to him necessarily because he's ugly. They were just mad because he's a thief, and they
Right.
chase him off. And actually they were pretty chill about it because once he leaves the edge of the village, they let him go. I mean, they don't follow him. They leave him. I'm like, so
Yeah,
much-
but honestly, just stealing a loaf of bread, not to get too Les Mis here, but does stealing a loaf of bread really require an entire lynch mob?
I mean, let's
These
face
people don't have TV. They have
exactly.
no
That's what I was gonna say. There's
entertainment.
not that much going on.
There
You
is
know, it's like,
not. There is nothing going on. I mean, you want to. You can go pick turnips if you want, or you can throw rocks at this guy. I mean,
At
come
the
on.
lead
What
singer
are you
from
gonna do?
Typo Negative. He was in my
Hey,
kitchen.
Peter
I feel
Steele,
like-
sign my Bloody Kisses record.
I feel like the villagers are sort of like a Greek chorus in the sense that they're telling viewers like how they should feel. So like every time we have sympathy for the monster, the creature, like the bunch of like a crazed mob of villagers shows up and tells us we're supposed to be horrified by him and chase him away.
yeah.
And he does talk eventually here. So that's another check. And Girl by Pond, that's another check. Like, so like he once he flees them,
Yeah.
he then runs out into the wilderness, and yeah.
I was wondering because I'm like, wow, I didn't know about Paradise Lost because I didn't know when that was published. I didn't realize that was in the original novel. And so many depictions of the Frankenstein monster make him a dumb brute.
Oh yeah.
But he's not, he speaks, he reads. And as a matter of fact, he starts out, he's actually not even physically intimidating. He's limping and he's got a crutch. He's hobbling away from the villagers. So it's interesting that yeah, his intellect, I mean, he immediately grabs the book when he leaves, right? And and just without it's hard to take entirely outside of all the background because we watched so many of these and we talked about it so much, but just watching, I'm like, you didn't bring in an infant into the world. You brought a full human being with has all of the abilities of a man, but none of the background, none of the moral background, none of the, they don't know who they are, they don't know where they came from. They have all their abilities, but and in a way that's really horrific because you're 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 born fully able, but
Right.
also
Right.
totally without any context.
As a kid, we have our parents to teach us the way. This guy's a full-grown human, and people are expecting him to already know everything, and
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
wandering through the world like, well, what is this? What is this? What does this do?
Ooh,
You know.
yeah.
Well, a really interesting thing is that like a big cliche about like teaching Paradise Lost to students is that a lot of students are like, well, actually, Satan's the hero. So like you get a lot of papers written by students that are titled, Sympathy for the Devil, why Satan is the hero in Paradise Lost. And I think that, the same thing happens the first time like undergraduate students in English classes read Frankenstein. They're like, actually, Victor is the monster, and the monster is the hero. So, I think exactly for those reasons that you were pointing out, that it was like that, like despite all of the horrible things that the creature does later on,
Yeah.
we're really in this whole section of the kind of middle of the book, like really invited to sympathize with him, and to really see Victor as the one who has kind of abdicated responsibility for teaching him.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, Kevin
Hmm.
Connor, the director of this, wanted to create compassion for the creature. And I think they really soft pedal some of the creature's crimes. We'll get into that more in the
Yeah.
next episode when we talk about episode 2. But yeah. Is there anything else we wanted to talk about Milton before we move on? Paradise Lost stuff.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I do want to mention this. All right. And this is probably, I don't know if this is appropriate or not. Would that be realistic for this family who seems pretty rural and not necessarily well-to-do, actually not well-to-do, to have not just that multiple books, including this book? That seems a little far-fetched to me,
I,
but
I'm
I
going to
don't
agree
know.
with you, Will. I agree with you, Will. I think the only book these people have is the Bible,
Yeah, and
I'm
wait.
also
if
trying
that,
to
if
remember
that.
if, yeah, I'm trying to remember too if Paradise Lost would have been translated into German at this point.
Oh,
Probably. I can probably look that up. The other thing too is in the book, the creature doesn't, he finds Paradise Lost and also um, Plutarch's Lives, which was a book of Roman biographies, and
oh,
then also The Sorrows of Young Werther, which a Goethe book that was all about, kind of existential angst of a young
wow.
student.
Okay.
So, but he doesn't find them in the DeLacy's cottage. And so I think you're absolutely right to say, like, in this kind of editorial decision for the production to kind of collapse, Frankenstein, or the I keep wanting to call him Frankenstein, right? It's like that
We all
We
do.
well, we decided long ago that we are going to call the creature Frankenstein because when we had a couple of Frankenstein scholars on the program, and
Yeah.
they suggested that we should refer to him as Frankenstein because he's the child
Yeah,
of
you're
Victor.
right. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. He's like Frankenstein Jr.
yeah,
He's young
Hmm.
Frankenstein.
yeah.
His only
But
child.
yeah, so like that was it's a kind of it's a decision in the script that I think strains credibility a little bit.
Wow. Okay.
Given that he has like that, these guys are rural farmers that have the you know the Harvard Library in their living room. Like, you know what this is to me? This is the influence of our petty bourgeoisie. This is Percy and Lord Byron and Mary hanging out with the elites in Geneva. And I want to say, while I'm on the topic of these three, this one, I don't know if this was intentional, but this one more than any, like, to me, parallels the Byron, Mary, and Percy, like, friendship since childhood kind of thing with like Victor, Elizabeth, and Henry. You
Uh-huh.
know,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
Yeah.
definitely.
That
You
makes
know,
sense. That makes
because
sense.
like the lightning hitting the tree, I don't think that's a Frankenstein thing. That was like a real thing they saw, right? When that
Right.
summer
Yes.
without a yeah, the year without a summer, yeah.
so I'm getting. I love this, Laura. You've educated me. I didn't realize anything about what he had been exposed to reading wise, but when you
Yeah. I didn't
say
either.
those things, I'm like, oh my God, this seems like something that you could see like some dude from the Manosphere was like, yeah, no, I'm reading about the Roman, and then there's this book about, and it's like all the stuff that if this is what informed him. That dude turned out pretty good. Okay, I mean, this is
Are
what
you
you have
dissing
to.
Milton or
And you
Plutarch?
Yeah, and you also have to realize this is right around the time when like people are thinking about the ideas of Rousseau and this idea of the child is a blank slate and who just like if you only expose him to nature, like the child will become like a moral creature, because just nature and reading rather than humanity,
Oh wow,
because everyone is essentially good and like this is kind of like you sort of let somebody kind of live in the wilderness and they will develop natural moral feelings, and so just like the creature does.
yeah,
And
yeah,
then what corrupts the creature is not like him being inherently evil, but that his experience of the world of being rejected by the mob and by his father. I just did air quotes for our listeners. Is what turns him evil.
Okay,
well, in the
so he's a
family.
noble savage. Is that what we're saying?
He's a very noble savage.
Well, even the family, he said, "Why are you doing this?" When the father beats him, he's like, "I know you're a good man." He's like, "Well, wait, how do you know I'm a good man? You've been watching us." It's like, yeah, that's okay. I'm honestly okay. I love this. This is one of the reasons why I never watch anything, almost never watch something by myself because I always want to talk to somebody about it. I get so much more out of it. And I'm getting so much more out of this having talking with you guys than I did watching. I was like,
Well, I gotta say, no version adequately portrays the horror of the blind man's family. Like that always seems left field. It's like, what's the deal? Why are you
Right,
suddenly turning on this guy?
right.
Everyone, even this one, which brings me to, is this the adaptation that understands Frankenstein? Like, is this actually the most faithful version of Frankenstein? Because that's what everybody likes to say. So,
Hmm.
what does it have that other versions don't have? And what doesn't it have that it should? And I'll just throw out, we said, it's got the frame story with Walton and, the Arctic, which that has happened in a couple of them,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
but not many. Like most of them don't.
I'm with Will here. Like talking about it has made me really think about this a little bit, like really come around to this perspective. I think it's very faithful to the book's moral vision of really thinking about, Frankenstein as essentially good and turned evil by his rejection. If he were like living on his own and kind of like letting nature and like the great works of literature educate him, and if he'd only experienced kindness from his father and from the hordes of craized villagers, perhaps he would have added to society in some way,
He wouldn't have
or
been a
even
serial
or
killer.
no, or he would have, gone off with his Bride of Frankenstein and just, lived a happy life in the woods.
Hmm.
So I really do think this version kind of is true to that moral vision.
Okay. Jason.
I didn't read the book. I never read the
Okay.
book.
All
So,
right. Okay. Never mind. Will.
I have not read the book, and I didn't think it was a good idea to start in the middle of this process. I'm going to do things in reverse. But I would say in terms of this has given me it presents something different than most of them do. But and like for instance, how I was like kind of down on the creation scene. It doesn't matter. The creation scene doesn't matter. That's not the point of Frankenstein in terms of the literature, in terms of the storytelling. Those are things that are, whether how the creature looks and how he was created, that kind of stuff, there are great for creature feature type stuff. But it's more important is the questions that that Frankenstein brings up. This is the first time I've actually thought of Frankenstein in the same vein as I think of uh you know Pinocchio or Data from Star Trek, or people always look at me funny when I say Dexter, but these are people who are like, I'm trying to be real. I'm trying to learn how to be a real how am I supposed to exist? I And the thing, and of course, all of these, it's like I'm not a real person. I doubt my humanity. I don't know how to act, which is what makes them universal for all of us. Because the secret is none of us really knows how to act. We're just faking it. That's why these characters are so appealing because we all feel like an outsider at that point, at some point. But really, I'm like, wow, that's really frames him in the same place because he's not an infant. He's that blank slate. Yeah, he is an adult who doesn't know anything, and that really feels like a coming of age story. That really feels like, yeah, it's like Data. Data can do whatever, but he's still not. He's not able to. He doesn't know what to do.
Right. Doesn't know how to interact.
Yeah, he's capable without having context and wisdom.
Okay. What about the look of the creature? So we mentioning Peter Steele. Well, this guy, he actually what was the name of the actor that played the creature in this?
I think it was something good hair, something like that.
He
Yeah,
did have good hair. He had good hair.
It was Luke
Yeah.
Goss. Luke Goss, and he was like, okay, he was in a band. He was the singer. It was a British boy band. I forget what they were called, but yeah.
Called
But
it.
what do we think of the look? I like the look of the creature. I just don't think he was ugly enough. Like he's supposed to inspire horror and stuff like that. I did like the long black hair and stuff like that. But other than that, he's like the least scary Frankenstein ever. You know?
You can go to a goth club right now and find 6 of those guys that all look like this guy. All right now.
Totally.
All right now.
Well,
Totally.
you know what I
All
already
right
said. I'd date that guy. I'm like, nah, man. So
I mean, had nice cheekbones. I mean, okay, so he's got some skin issues, whatever. He still looked pretty
whatever.
good.
But like people then also like smallpox was fairly common. There were vaccines, or inoculation, but people were, resistant to them as they always are. And so there would have been plenty of people among those mobs of crazed villagers who also didn't look that great.
Right.
It's kind of fascinating to me again, like why does he look so different and strange?
He's tall, pale, and handsome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, was this too slow for TV or too literary for TV?
No. I'd be fascinated to kind of see this done by like, PBS. Um, but I think it was it was about the same pace that we might expect from, and it was only, a 2 episode miniseries. Like we've all seen like miniseries that spread things out about from shorter books, certainly.
Mm-hmm.
I read Frankenstein, and I think Mary Shelley has a pacing problem with the book. So
Yeah.
that's even before we get to these adaptations. But when I watch TV, I want something a little faster paced. I'm gonna say that TNT did this, like they hit the mark better than this with the Randy Quaid version. If we're talking
Okay.
made for cable TV, like that one, which we already talked about in a previous episode, the 92 version of this.
I thought it was slow for me, which is not to say it was not appropriate. Um, I might have enjoyed, like me personally, I would have probably enjoyed it more. It was like, oh, instead of it would be like 3 1 hour things or something like that. Sometimes, but honestly, a lot of times you can start with a very short piece of fiction, and you can stretch it out because you're padding it out with God knows what. You added all kinds of
Oh,
things.
I could have done with more scenes, but in Walton and Donald Sutherland, man, because just like anything Donald Sutherland, anytime he's on screen, it's just like gold,
Right, right.
Did you notice who's playing Henry, the friend?
Yes, it
Dan
was.
Stevens from Downton Abbey and from Legion, who played David in Legion. Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
And he is probably like the most, other than like the scenery chewers of, William Hurt and Donald Sutherland. Like nowadays, again, this would be like if you were like a Hallmark aficionado,
and wanted to find something streaming where you're like, oh, I couldn't get enough of that guy in Downton Abbey. Spoiler alert, they killed him off too early. I got to see something else that
Great.
he's
Now we
in.
can't do Downton Abbey on our show. You just ruined
Sorry.
You ruined it. You've ruined it. Damn it.
But I think he was a lot better than either the Victor or the Creature actors,
Mm,
who I think kind of faded back into like, small time British, endless British television.
right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna give this a good score for accuracy. It sounds like we're giving it a medium score on entertainment. Sort of seems like the
Medium.
consensus.
I would have liked it better if the old man actually played the violin instead of just faking it. That's one thing. It's just
Some
a thing with
musician.
me. I always look whenever I see a musician playing on film or in television or anything, if they're actually doing, I mean, I'm not a violinist, but I certainly know, enough about, stringed instruments to where notes are. And yeah, he didn't do any of that. Didn't do
Okay.
any of that.
So he's not going to be on the Super Satan show.
No,
All right.
no, he's not. No, he is not.
What about the cultural impact of this one? Most people don't even know that this
No.
exists. When I tell them there's like a Hallmark version of Frankenstein, they're like, Hallmark?
I did.
That's what I did.
Hallmark Hall of Fame, which is one of their kind of production brands, has a long history of kind of prestige, like BBC style, like
Oh.
historical and like especially book. And like Hallmark Hall of Fame as a brand was like, it's like the kind of thing you could sit down with your entire family and watch. That was their kind of branding.
Mm.
So I would say it fits very well into that kind of like, let's see a very bland version of a classic, sort of with the edges sanded off. And I think, again, like making the creature not as horrifying as he probably should be, is part of kind of that same aesthetic.
Right.
I don't know if this was actually Hallmark Hall of Fame, or I'm not actually haven't kept up to see if that's still a kind of like sub production branding that they have these days. But like
I
Hallmark,
want to say
like
they split that off.
it's
I don't know
possible.
for sure. Yeah.
Before Hallmark became known as like churning out all of these like
Christmas
Christmas
schlock.
movies, and actually, I will say, just to be fair, a couple of very, very terrible Hanukkah films as well. They really were known in television as producing these kind of like prestige, but like not too deep versions of things that Americans would find familiar.
Oh, so
And
they
not
might have done
very,
Dickens.
yeah, but like not even like Dickens in a very non-challenging way. Like most of Dickens, honestly, is way too socialist for Americans. So
Yeah, I heard that they tried to do like that Hallmark at Once It Conquered Christmas or whatever, like they were like that this was their attempt at like the Halloween time. Like this came out in October, right? And they wanted to like be, they're a greeting card company, right? They want to be like all the holidays, right? But it reminds me, whenever I think of that, it just reminds me of, did you guys ever see the Saturday Night Live sketch, the Hallmark horror, where it's like the serial killer, like goes back to the small town in Vermont. I think it's Vermont or New Hampshire. And like, have you guys seen this?
No.
You didn't see
no.
that? Oh, it's
That
hilarious.
sounds wonderful.
It has all the beats where they're like, she meets this guy, and then he turns out he's like a serial killer, and then he's like, and then of course there's like the part of the movie where they have a fight because she's like from New York City, but he's like the small town guy, and he's like, oh, why don't you just go back to New York? I'm sure there's plenty of guys that'll murder you there.
all right, I
Oh,
found
man.
it, and I'm gonna put the link into our chat.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you to our guest, Laura Braunstein.
Yay.
Thank you, Laura.
I really have enjoyed being on your podcast, and I hope I can go back.
Yay.
Well, you're coming back for episode 2, that's for sure.
Oh, well, thanks.
Jason, why don't you tell us any details you haven't already about this show in July?
All right. If you are in the Cincinnati area, please come to the Southgate House Revival in Newport, Kentucky, July 31st for my shows compilation record release. It's a double album, 20 bands. There'll be 15 bands on the actual bill you can come and see.
Is the puppet going to come out and host?
The puppet will be there. The puppet will be there because I'm
and
not
he's
actually
going to
running.
quote from Milton. He's going to quote from Paradise
Yes.
Lost. Thanks to this.
I'm going that means I actually have to read the book too. Damn it.
You know, there's a graphic novel, so.
Yeah, okay, sure. I'll find the graphic novel. It's fine. But yes, July 31st, come out.
Awesome. If you like the show, like, subscribe, rate, review, all those good things, but mostly just tell somebody else about it. We spread mostly by word of mouth. If you want to write to us, you can. We're GC8 Podcast. That's letter G, letter C, number 8 podcast at gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook. We're on a bunch of other social media, but we never update it. So, but
Good
you can
luck.
try to contact us. That. Yeah, good luck. Until next time, this is Eric.
And this is Will.
I'm Jason.
And I'm Laura.
Yeah.
Signing off.
The puppet will be there. The puppet will be there.